When you're being your authentic self, showing up on social media is easy because you're not putting on some persona.
How would you possibly be able to tell how many people come across you and your brand and don't reach out?
If people are leaving after the first initial consultation.
Can you break down your take on branding?
So it comes down to how you're interacting, what the process is like, that whole experience, how you want that to feel. Yes, should feed into what your logo looks like to a certain extent, but if you truly believe that your company is worth hiring and you truly believe that the product that you have is worth buying, then there shouldn't be a problem with sharing that with people.
In today's podcast, I sit down with Renae and we talk all things organic social media. So grab the pen and paper, listen intently, write notes, and stay tuned to the very end because we also dive into her journey so far in her renovation journey. This isn't her first renovation, but it is the first renovation working with a builder and a designer. And so it's going to be something you're going to want to take notes in areas where these were things that you can improve in your business and in your sales process to hopefully close that next contract. Renae, big thank you for stepping this side of the camera and stepping this side of the mic today and jumping on the podcast with me. For listeners who have not yet met you, you help a lot of our clients with their organic social media side of things and making sure that they look good, content is exactly what it needs to be, engaging with the right audience, achieving what it wants to achieve, or what they are asking us to help them achieve. But I want to dive more into that because your role is not only executing, but a lot of the time you're also educating our builders and their team on why we do things a certain way to achieve the outcome.
Yep.
Plus, you are also yourself going through a renovation at the moment. And so there's a lot that you and I have been discussing off camera that I'd love to share with our audience that they can then take away, and just in terms of what, from a client's perspective, what you've enjoyed, what's been good, or where you feel like some of these people you've interacted with have maybe, from a client's perspective, maybe fallen short.
Yeah.
Or missed opportunity. Let's say that. But yeah, first of all, how are you feeling that side of the mic and camera?
I would prefer to be on the other side.
Well, you are very good at what you do.
I'm willing to share, yeah.
Well, thank you. One thing I wanted to probably dive into, and it's been touched on, I think, on a previous podcast, but we didn't have your take on it, and that is branding.
Yeah.
And so for a lot of the guys we speak to, they've come to us for help. They really wanted to step up their marketing. And one of the areas is branding, and sometimes they'll come from a perspective, and there's a range of levels of education and experience when it comes to marketing and branding, but sometimes we'll come across someone who, branding is, oh no, yeah, I've got the logo, it's on my website.
Yeah.
I've got it on my shirts. I've got some hoarding and I've got some vehicles. Can you break down your take on branding?
Yeah.
What it is, what it sort of encompasses, and what you educate our guys on to help them understand that.
Yeah. I guess from my perspective, I think obviously logo is very important. Like all that is very important. It all feeds into a much bigger picture. Okay. So it comes down to how you're interacting with clients, what the process is like, that whole experience, how you want that to feel. Yes, should feed into what your logo looks like to a certain extent. And I guess that a lot of people probably do go into that, like, where are you located? What are other builders around the area? What, colorings and things are they using and how to stand out? So I guess it all feeds into that. But I guess it's that overall vibe that you're wanting your business to portray. And that's a lot more than just the logo and the website, although that does, feed into it. It's around, the kinds of people you're hiring. Yep. What's your story behind your business? How did you come to be? And I think we do a lot of that at Bizvideo. It's like what actually led you to the space that you're in now that has started you getting this logo and starting this business. And that whole story is a part of your brand. Well, that's how I see it.
Well, I agree with that 100%. Talk to me about what because the other thing I wanted to discuss today is consistency. And that's a really, really important part. One thing that you and I have discussed is inconsistency is confusing to your audience and can weaken trust.
Yeah, definitely.
Can you help unpack that, help
Yeah.
people understand what that means and why that is?
So I think the main thing in any business, obviously people want to know that you're there. It's very different when you've got like a brick and mortar shop. It's like you're there when the open sign's there. You're not there when it's closed. I think that when you move everything over to social media, then it becomes like you're almost not there if your story's not on. So when you're looking for something like a builder where you're going to invest a lot of money, you want to know that they're booked and busy. You want to know that their projects are moving consistently through the processes that they should be moving through. So if you start following someone and you see, they're pouring slab at this point and they're just checking in all the way along, it's going to make you feel very secure in that. And then you get to see the final product. And then on social media, those photos start coming up of the internals and externals of the home. You get to see the quality of their work, but you got to be a part of it the whole way along. So I think, that a lot of people think it's great to put up, one carousel of the final home. And that's awesome. But I think that any builder will tell you that they build relationships with these people. And so if I'm going to build a relationship with you, I want to make sure that you're the kind of person that I want to interact with. Yeah. So I want to be able to see that one, I can trust you. Projects start, projects end, they're completed. Even better if there's testimonies or we can talk to the client because I can see that the client was happy and that it was actually an enjoyable process. So I guess I've deviated, but that consistency, showing up daily, builds trust, shows transparency, helps you get the kind of client you want, because by showing the clients you've had or by showing up and speaking to camera, the people that are naturally going to be attracted to you are those who you're going to want to work with. So it's almost like, you want to put out there. It's almost like, I'll use a fishing analogy because I always use it. It's like you want to use the right bait. And if you're consistently fishing, if you fish once a day, you're going to catch so many fish. If you fish once a month. So I kind of compare that to social media. If you think of it as fishing, if you're putting bait out multiple times a day in your stories, you're going to catch a lot more views and a lot more people. And if you're putting the right bait out, you're more likely to catch the kind of client that you actually want. Something that I talk to a lot of our clients about is if you are wanting to move away from bathroom renovations, you don't want to be showing heaps of bathroom renovations. Because as someone,
on that point, you're raising a lot of things I'm trying to keep track of.
Sorry,
when I come back to.
and
No, it's really good. It's really, it's good. That bathroom example you gave, it's not always bathrooms, but that concept is, a lot of helping our eyes understand that. Yeah. Let's say someone's listening to this and they go, well, then what do I show?
Exactly, yeah.
How do you answer that?
Yeah, so that's one of the things that we talk about. If you're a builder and you've started with these smaller renovations and you're like, okay, well, that's all we've got right now. But what we want to be doing is something a lot larger and really we want to start moving into this and that. What I would say is, yes, your content doesn't only have to be what you're doing right now. And also you can use your content to educate other people. So don't always think it has to be a photo of what you're doing right now. That's great. And, use some close-up shots of things in bathrooms. That's cool. Spread them out. I would say tap into what you're great at and what your passion is. So if your passion is like, I don't know, from a building perspective, it's hard for me to give an example.
Let's say you're doing bathrooms, but you want to move into, say, high-performance homes.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So if you've got a real interest in energy efficient homes, start to share that with your audience. So one of your posts might simply be you sitting down and chatting to the camera about some new latest things that you've heard about, or something that somebody else is doing. Reshare it on your stories. It doesn't have to be you that was doing it. Reshare it and say why you're finding this interesting, how you'd love to be doing more of this. So I think I think don't get bogged down in the fact that this has to be all my work. We're just doing bathroom renovations. We don't have much to show. Yep. Show some close-ups, some finishes, and just talk about other things that, you know, you would like to be doing.
Yeah. I think the analogy that I often give is like, you don't start at the destination of where you want to be.
Exactly.
So you need to, when you have your ship and you want to go to this new frontier, this new land, this new island, you have to sell that. You have to start telling people on the docks, hey, this is where we're going. This is going to be really exciting. You want to be on board for this.
Yeah.
And that's where you start to get, let's say, for example, other collaborators, you know, other trades, team members, prospective clients, designers and architects going, ooh, that sounds interesting. I want to be on board.
Yeah.
I want to be going there. Just as an analogy.
Yeah, I think the passion and excitement, it attracts people.
I think, yeah, because that's often where someone goes, when I'm talking to builders, I would love to do marketing, but I don't have the projects to showcase it. And it's like, well, all of our clients will have that excuse.
Yes.
Especially the ones who are driven, because the project you're working on now is always going to be this is the one we want to capture.
Yeah.
Everything in the past is not worth it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if you keep that perspective up, then you're never going to get there. You're never going to be showcasing anything.
Yes.
And so there's lots of ways in which we help our guys and our builders and their teams and their businesses tell a story. And telling a story isn't always the video. There's lots of ways. When we say story, it's that consistent messaging across their marketing of this ongoing narrative of this is who we are and we're on the journey towards here. And you start to attract people.
Exactly. And that just, when you said across platforms, I think that's really key. I think that it's something that people need to put a little bit more thought in. It's like, yep, great, you've got an awesome website. That's one of 5 different places that people are going to be looking. So they're going to be looking on Google reviews. They're going to be looking on Instagram.
Maybe let's stay here on this, because that's one thing I wanted to come back to. Because you talked earlier about consistency in this side of things, being consistent in regular posting or regular content going out. But there's a lot more to the concept of consistency than that. You did allude to some of it earlier, but you're right. It's other platforms. It's when's your last Google review? Yeah. You know, if I was talking to someone the other day about, you know, if you've had a Google review 3 months ago, let's say you're super high end, you're doing 3 projects a year. Yeah. Then I'd like to hear your take on this, but if I haven't seen a review for like 2 years, I'm like, that's interesting. Why, in terms of consistency of a brand on your social media, it looks like you're doing awesome projects. Why have you not had a review for 2 years? You know, or if you're telling me that you're doing only 2 projects a year, and you got slots, and you know you can't take on anyone, you're selective, but you're getting like, you know, a review every month, Google review every month. That doesn't add up. Something there's not right. Yeah. Talking about, break down more of the consistency across different areas, platforms, arenas.
Yeah, I would say that we often don't put our mind into the view of the person that's the consumer. I think sometimes we're very stuck in the mindset, obviously, because it's our mindset, of, you know, of the business owner. And so I think sometimes it just takes that little shift of perspective to go, okay, if I was going to be buying a house, or if I was going to be building a house, what would I be looking for? Or often, what's my wife going to be looking for? Because we know that it's often the wife that's the one that's doing the searching. Yes. And so I think sometimes that can be really hard, because in a male-dominated industry, they're not thinking like the wife thinks. And they're just thinking from their perspective. So one thing, that consistency across platforms. I want to see that everything looks the same. I also don't like if you have a website that looks very different in branding to your Instagram, you're adding an element of confusion. Confusion stops people from doing things straight away. So if you're like, oh, we'll get to rebranding the Instagram or we'll get to rebranding the website, I would say get to it sooner rather than later. Just to make sure that the logos are consistent and the colors are consistent so that when someone comes to you, they're just like, oh, is this the one that I thought I was checking out? And then, you want them all to be active. And I know that a lot of builders are going to be like, I don't have time for this. I'm busy managing projects and I understand that. I think that they don't realize the power of social media and stuff on the web.
Sorry. To sit there as well. I feel like there's two concepts. There is the importance of social media and then there's the power of social media. And I'd like to hear your take on that. Yeah. Where my mind's at and what I try to help our guys understand is the importance side of things is it's really important. There's a huge loss. You could be losing opportunity that you don't even know you're losing. Yeah. You need to be putting out consistent, powerful messaging. But then there's the powerful side of things. So it's like you could be achieving a lot more and getting a lot more out of everything you're doing if you were utilizing the power of social media. Yeah. You know, you talk about complaining you can't find good stuff. But your social media does not say that your workplace is an amazing place that people want to come and they're fighting over and lining up to work at. Yeah.
I think, I think you're spot on that. Like it's something that can, I think the thing with social media, if you think of it like this, with a website, it's like a stagnant page that stays the same. Also, you pay for it to get done. And yes, you can add things, but it's not like a thing that's being turned over regularly. You have the power, like everyone can literally change their social media right now. Like they could go and start the change immediately themselves. So I think for one, the power's in your hands. And two, I think one thing I love about social media is it speeds things up. When it comes to sales, it is a great way to speed up that sale between someone deciding, like wanting to choose you and choosing you. That gap can be minimized massively with social media.
I think 100% there because you've got, like you said, the website's static. The way I've tried to explain it to some of our guys is where else can they in seconds absorb that amount of information? You know, if I use a simple example of your grid on Instagram, very quickly I can see 9 images and go, does this, you know, and that's where it comes down to, have you curated that grid to, in 9 images, they can go, I'm getting a feel of this is a vibrant team, great leadership, very client focused, clean cut, professional. Yep. In that amount of time, where else can I go and get that level of absorption information like that? And then you want to make sure, I mean, this is your, I don't want to step on your toes, but you know, making sure the content then is engaging, that person wants to come back and see more and they want to click follow. You know?
That's the thing. It's a split second. People are making decisions in a split second. You could be the one that they narrow down to 3 builders purely on social media and your website, especially if that includes reviews and testimonies. I think that really does bulk things out. Okay. It's just human nature. We're much more likely to choose something when we believe that someone else has had a good experience.
And more so if we feel like that other person is like us.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and that's where I think that showing your clients when possible on your social media, as whether that be just a handshake and handing over the keys or whether that be them speaking to camera, that would be even better. Because the minute that I identify with someone that's already had the experience, I'm putting myself in their shoes immediately, and then I'm like, I could have that great experience. And it really doesn't take that much to get people to do. Like, it feels like, oh, that would be a massive undertaking. It really wouldn't. It's as simple as a client talking to camera saying, you know, we had the best experience with them. This is what we loved.
And this comes back to understanding your audience.
Yeah.
So it can be as simple as this, or as little as this. If done right, and if you understand your audience. And I know you recently had a meeting with one of our clients who he was like, oh, we want to get you guys to come and capture this pouring of concrete.
Yes.
And you did a great job in helping him and just pointing out who his audience is. You know, one, you've trusted us to help you with this, and helping understand who is your audience. Your audience, because if you show concrete pouring, who's going to like that? Other builders, other trades, other guys who want to work with you, or who just admire your work, or which is good. But who's at the end of the day, who's making the decision to pay you?
Yeah.
And who's one of the biggest influences in that decision? In many cases, it's the wives.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much they want to see concrete getting poured.
I think that's the thing with things like a concrete pour and things like that. Put it in your stories. Definitely put it in your stories. Even if you have a photo of it on your grid, it's just not something that I think is worth the money to get photographed professionally. Like, it's not something where I'd get a crew out there to. Yeah. It's not. The content isn't going to be different enough, and it's not going to speak to your audience enough. That you want to be getting value for money. Yeah. If you're going to get a photo shoot, get it of.
Maybe.
Good.
Can you explain to the guys listening to this? Some of them would understand this already. Some of them, it's the first time they're hearing about this.
Yeah.
And the difference between the grid.
Yeah.
I'm using Instagram as the example.
Yeah.
What is the grid? What is the purpose of it from our perspective? What's the power of it?
Yeah.
Versus your stories or your highlighted stories.
So I would say, similarly to what you were saying before, like you were like, I'm going to get a snapshot really quickly. That's what the grid is. So you want to have a good mix of completed builds, some works in progress, some project site photos, photos of the team. So you want people to just it's going to be that little quick snapshot, the grid. However, what I would say is, if I start following you, so say, for instance, a friend tells me about your business. I'm like, cool, I'm going to be renovating soon. I'm going to start following them. So say Smith's Building. I start following Smith's Building. If you're not in your stories, I'm never going to see Smith's Building again. It's not going to come up for me unless I search you in my 1,000 people that I'm following. Very rare. So it's almost like such a missed opportunity if you're not in your stories, because if you're in your stories every day and it's just you going to site being like, this is what we're up to, or we're really excited today because this is going in, every single day when I'm scrolling, that's going to come across my feed. I'm going to see you every time. So then I might not choose to renovate for another 6 months to 12 months. And I've forgotten who my friend told me to, I don't remember your name. But luckily for you, you've been in your stories. And so every time it's popped up, subconsciously it's been going into my brain. I've gone, oh, cool. I've been, I know these guys now. I've seen him talk to camera multiple times. I feel like I know them. So me picking up the phone and now calling Andrew is going to be real simple, because I'm going to feel way more at ease calling him, because I feel like we've already been talking because he's been talking to camera. So I think also I'm going to know as a woman that he's not the kind of person who's going to speak down to me. I've got a feeling for who he is as a person. So I think that's why I was saying it really does speed things up, because it makes your potential client feel like they know you personally. And therefore, they're way more comfortable when they're talking to you. You're going to get it way more out of them. And they've already been primed. Why wouldn't you want a primed potential client? And you're not doing this. You're not wasting your time priming one person. You can prime thousands and thousands of people.
It's like creating a waiting room where there's like all the artwork on the walls and promotional material on the walls is educating them and helping them understand about who they're going to meet when they walk through the door, how that interaction is going to look and feel, and
and you end up, it's almost like you're cherry picking your clients, because the people that are going to be attracted to you are people that know the authentic real you and want to work with someone like you. And we're attracted to people who are like us. That's just human nature.
Yeah.
So you're going to end up with the kinds of clients you want. The more you show yourself, the more likely you're going to get clients that you actually, that align with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A thought that some of our listeners listening to this might have, those that don't work with us or have us help them with their organics and stuff, thinking, I don't have the time.
Yeah.
You're wanting me to be consistent. Like you're talking how many posts a week, how many posts a day,
Yeah.
on my stories, I got to.
Yeah.
Can you address that?
Yeah, definitely.
And how do we go about helping our guys so that they don't have that experience?
Yeah.
Especially, because some of our clients are not down the road. We're not running to site every day.
No.
Yeah.
I think a huge misconception with social media, on the one hand, yes, social media can take hours and hours. It can be a full-time job. But I think a misconception is I'm going to have to feed so many hours into this to make it anything worthwhile, or I need to be doing these dances, or I need to be doing these amazing transitions. I need to know tech stuff in order. It's like, again, know your audience. Who is going to be watching these? Chances are it's probably not a Gen Z that's going to be watching this. They're not really going to care about your transitions.
Yeah. I'm just going to jump in here and just say a pet peeve of mine, and I don't know why I have to express it, is like the fast moving videos that give me almost an epileptic fit.
Yeah.
Like my eyes can't focus and my brain can't track it, and I have I close down the app because, and I think, sorry, back to you.
You're not getting the information. You're not getting the information across. So I'm going to try and break this down, keep on track. So the first thing is that it doesn't need to be fancy and techie. Know your audience. Your audience is going to be investing a lot of money in either a renovation or a home. They don't care whether the transition in your TikTok video is smooth and cool. What they care about is whether they can trust you, whether or not your buildings are getting built, whether you're doing quality work, whether you have a good, trustworthy team that works well together. Like, these are the kinds of things that they want to know. So whenever I'm talking about content with a client, we always work backwards. What do we want our audience to know? Then decide on the content from that, as opposed to, how do I get some content out here? I just need to get something up. Oh, okay, just take a photo of that. Okay, but what's that telling your audience? So on the one hand, yes, it takes a bit of planning, but that planning will then overarch your whole social media. Like, you'll do one little bit of planning where you say, these are the things we want to make sure our audience knows, that we're trustworthy, that we've been around for 15 years, that, I grew up and my dad's a builder also, and I've been, on building sites since I was this big. We close this many houses a year. Like, what are the things you want your clients to know, your potential clients to know, and then work backwards as to what am I going to put out that shows people that. So whether that be, I'll do the examples I just did then. The trustworthiness is like that showing up on site. I tell a lot of our clients, a simple video in the car on your way to site every day takes less than a minute to do. Press record. Hi guys, we're heading to Burleigh.
Yeah.
We're about to be on site. We're doing a 2-story house there, give a little bit of a rundown. Today, we're up to this point in the home. We're really excited. These clients come from Melbourne. They're moving down here. You don't have to give names. You don't have to give too many specifics, but just that showing up each day and telling what you're doing is enough. It's going to pop up on people's stories every single day. They're going to see your face. They're going to get to know you. Yeah. Shows transparency and trust, builds trust. The thing like, I want people to know that I've been on work sites forever. Share a photo of you and your dad on the work site when you were little in your stories or on your grid, and just be like, so thankful to my dad for years of great experience, and I'm so lucky that I get to do this as my job. Whatever it may be, whatever's authentic to you. You're not trying to be someone else. You are just sharing your story. And I think that's people get caught up being like, this builder's doing this, or this guy's showing this, or he shares a lot of this. It's like, cut all that out and think about what you want to do and what you're passionate about and what your story is, and share you versus you trying to be this guy who's really big in the building industry right now.
Yeah.
It's like it's going to come across as fake. And when we're trying to...
That's hard to maintain as well.
That's it. That's exactly
If you're
what I was
trying
going
to
to say.
maintain a front, you got to keep that up.
It's going to be exhausting. So when you're being your authentic self, showing up on social media is easy.
Yep.
Because you're not putting on some persona.
Yeah.
You're being your true self. And it should just be as easy as talking to a mate.
100%. And I think further to that would be if someone's fallen in love and gotten to know this front that you've been trying to maintain online,
Exactly.
then you have to then try and be that person
Yes.
in person.
Mm-hmm.
And if you haven't done the math and you are then just your, say, regular self, but that's not who you were online, then you can lose a lot of trust.
Yeah.
If who they thought they were going to interact with
Yeah.
or how that would look and feel versus real life.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Definitely.
from Bluey?
I don't watch Bluey, so I don't know.
Audrey, no, that's their real life. Audrey's like, it's like, Audrey, so-and-so is going to come round later. Really? Real life?
Oh, that's so...
What do you mean real life? Yes, they're really
They're
coming.
in the flesh. They're right here, real life.
Real life.
But that's so true. It's so true. Like, you can't fake it. You can only fake it for so long. Faking it is exhausting, and people smell it a mile away. So they can smell inauthenticity, if that's the word, inauthenticity.
I like it.
That you're being inauthentic. They can feel it through the screen. You can't fake it. So, and also, like I said before, you're going to end up catching clients that you don't actually want.
Yeah.
Because they're attracted to your fake personality, your fake brand. Much better to just lean into who you truly are. If you truly believe that your company is worth hiring and you truly believe that the product that you have is worth buying, then there shouldn't be a problem with sharing that with people.
Yeah. Yeah, that I find so powerful when our guys understand that. When you feel like you are obliged and it is your duty.
Yeah.
Because if you don't put it out there, if you don't educate someone, then a potential, and I mean, every builder would have a story of talking to a prospect, great fit, and then that person went elsewhere for a few dollars less and had a worse experience, far worse than, I mean, yours would have been amazing. They had a bad experience elsewhere and ended up paying more.
Yes.
And you knew your numbers and you could have delivered a great product at the price you said. And I just think you never know the exact, if you could go back in time, but I would dare say that if your marketing was on point and communicating a very, very powerful message and that person if your marketing had done a better job of influencing that person, they less likely would have felt like they needed to go and get a second price coming to the point of making a decision because they would have been able to justify knowing I'm getting way more value out of this than what you asked me to invest, the figure on the paper. But how are they to know that they're going to be receiving way more than their expectations if that's not what's being communicated?
Yeah, I think a lot of people get very much in their heads about this coming across as salesy, coming across as pushy, coming across as desperate, whatever the case may be. And I think we really need to focus on, is your product worth buying? Are you a quality builder? If you truly believe that, then that's going to come across. And it's not going to sound salesy. It's going to sound authentic. And you are saving people from having truly some really bad experiences, as we all know in the building industry. And that's where it gets a bad rap, because you hear all the horror stories and you very rarely hear, no one's talking about the good things. Like the bad things, you tell 10 people,
Travel
the
faster.
good things you you tell one. And it's like, well, and that's another thing, like simply asking for a Google review. It can be like an email, like just being like, hey, we'd really love to get the story out there that, we loved working with you. Could you please do a Google review? That's such a simple step that can be done by an admin person after the fact, but it does go a really long way when it comes to building trust online for people. I
think a lot of people on that Google review, maybe just in terms of a real tangible takeaway for guys, a lot of the time I hear from people, well, there's I don't even ask for one.
Yeah.
Or, I need to get to that. Create a templated email.
Oh, definitely.
So if someone, and let the trigger be a client, and it can be mid-construction, if they have shared, man, we're loving this. Awesome. Would you mind leaving a Google review and sharing that?
Yeah.
And then you've got a template email that you can send them straight away. Or you can go a step further, and if again you want to take as much control as possible to make sure it gets done, and I've recommended to plenty of guys, if they say something, say, would you leave a Google review? Yeah, sure. Would it be easier if I just took what you shared there? I don't mind putting into words, send it to you, and you can just copy and paste it if you approve it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you can make the amendments.
Yeah.
That's great. Like trying to, I think with anything like that, trying to take as many steps out of things for people and not expect them to.
Because I've shared that idea with a few people, and I've had builders come back and say, oh, yeah, I've had clients say to me, can you just write it? I'm like, should that not say enough? Like, why is it not be getting done?
Yeah. And I mean, if you've had a good experience, I know me personally, like the people that I've dealt with recently, every single one of them has asked me for a review. And I've been like, yeah, I'm stoked to give you a review. Like, have no problem doing that whatsoever. So I think if people that have had good experiences are not going to be like, oh, I couldn't be bothered to do that. Like,
totally.
people know what it means.
If you've delivered, yeah, exactly. And if you've delivered an amazing new space for someone, you would think that they would feel a level of gratitude. I want someone else to have this.
Exactly.
You know, and I want you, my builder, who we are now adoring. I would like you to win. Yeah,
to benefit. Yeah. Definitely. You want that for that person. So I think that's the thing. And I mean, if for no other reason, that's why builders should be very keen to give their clients a really great experience, is because they want to have these relationships at the end of the day, and they want, that person's going to tell their friends, and that's what you want.
For, again, guys listening, guys and ladies listening to this, going, how do I find time to build the consistency into this? Paint a bit of a picture for what it looks like for some of the people we help in terms of leverage of time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I definitely think that obviously outsourcing something like this is great. I think that the main thing is, it could just be a couple of photo shoots, and that could do you for the year sometimes, if you've got enough variation when it comes to like projects that you've got going on. So collecting that kind of content, we obviously do a lot of video content, which we think is very powerful and has proven to be very powerful when it comes to things like client reviews, video client reviews, showing multiple projects that you guys have on the go at any one time, and then like the overview of how their brand came to be, which I think is exceptionally powerful, whether it be on the website or on social media. But if this is something that you want to invest into, it's making sure that you're getting professional photos taken. It's a very small step that I found that not a lot of builders do. So making sure you're photographing completed builds, getting on and taking some really nice shots during the build as well. But honestly, if you were posting twice a week for the whole year, that's not a lot of photos. Like, we take photos in 2025, so many photos a day. Yeah. So having enough to do 1 year isn't really that many photographs. And then when it comes, then I would work on either getting someone like us to have that scheduled, make sure that the copy is quality and adding value to people's lives. I think that sometimes is a thing that people think, I'll just slap up a photo and it doesn't really matter what the copy is.
One thing
it does.
Yeah, 100% it does. Coming back to consistency, I think you sort of highlighted this for me, and I was explaining it to someone the other day. It's like the consistency is so much wider than you think. If you want to collaborate with architects and designers, does your social media say that? And it's not just, there's a whole then different facets to that puzzle or picture. There's the is there imagery of you, say, on an architectural sort of project? Some guys don't have that.
Yes.
It's not a necessity, but is there imagery of you with other people on site?
Yeah.
You know, if it's just always you as the hero, I'm not really getting vibes of collaborating. I'm getting very independent, very solo.
Yes.
But just imagery of you with other people, looking like you're having a positive interaction.
Yeah.
And then it goes like a step further would be if you are posting anything that has someone else involved, whether they're in the shot or let's say it is a designer and you're posting something of their project, are you tagging them or putting them in the copy section, showing that your audience, here I am, I'm collaborating.
Yeah.
You know, and you're walking the talk. And then you go a step further and go, are you physically inviting that other person to collaborate on that post? But then it comes back to, is that content such and is your branding on par that they want to collaborate? Will they post that on their own page? Because if you can position yourself in a way as in terms of your branding and then that specific post that they want to do that, great, because then you get access to all of their audience.
Exactly.
And it's just that's just a lot of these little things can compound. If I look at, and we had a big team meeting yesterday studying a whole range of our clients and their performance and KPIs and metrics and all that. And there was a few there and one in particular that was mind-boggling, just what we've been able to achieve in a very short space of time. But it's so many little things compounded.
Yes.
But there's also a great example of a client just trusting us and saying, can you take care of all of it? Not just one piece, but all of it, and going, do you?
Yeah. And it allows them to do them.
Yeah.
So I think that the beauty is that the way in which we do things like social media, ads, etc., the foundation is story. The foundation is authenticity versus, and I don't know other companies specifically, but I think the risk when you outsource anything is that it becomes not you. It becomes cookie cutter. It becomes, I don't know, just a little bit watered down. And I think that's something that we try to do, and I think we do execute really well on, is making sure that we understand that brand at its core, so that regardless of whether it's ads or whether it's organic or whatever, it's still authentically them. And so it's not just this one size fits all kind of vibe, which we definitely don't want to have when it comes to social media. If we were just popping out the same social media for every one of our clients, it wouldn't make any sense.
That's something I'm glad you raised that. I didn't even think to raise that in this, but that's, I would say, probably one of the main reasons why us helping our builders with their organic social media has only come about in the last 2 years, even though we've been operational for 13 years, is we were not ready yet until we had everything in place to know that for certain we are able to differentiate our clients, because it's, just like we don't want to take care of someone's organic social media if they're just going to send us a bunch of, half-ass content or generic content. It's like, there's only so much we can do with that. And if you're just, and that's one thing I try to explain to guys is, if all you're putting up there is like if all you're doing is finished product, finished product being a finished home or finished job or something, if that's all you're posting, it might look pretty, but it's okay, so what? So how is that different from the next guy? Because he's also putting up pretty photos.
Exactly.
But he is telling me he can do it for 50 grand less. Why would I not want to have a 50 grand buffer in my pocket?
Yeah.
Especially if I have a fear of going over budget or things going wrong. Or So you've positioned yourself, even though it looks pretty, you've positioned yourself with your messaging and your marketing, and to say, I do pretty, but I'm more expensive than the guy next door.
It's literally having your hands tied behind your back. Like you're tying your own hands behind your back by not putting up anything else. You're putting yourself in a comparison situation that
and making
you're
it very
bound
hard to compare.
lose. You're positioning yourself to lose. There was one social media I looked at the other day, a builder, and I scrolled and scrolled.
One of our guys?
Not currently.
Not currently.
So, well, yes, about to be.
About to be. Good.
And I scrolled because I was looking for a photo of the builder.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what they look like. I wanted to see how they interact. Yeah, I wanted to see how they interacted with people. I wanted to see their face. And I scrolled and I scrolled and I scrolled, and there was nothing. It was all completed builds. And I was like, okay, cool.
Is this the one who's just gone on board? Mm-hmm. Oh, excellent.
And so then I went to the website and I scrolled on the first page of the website. No photos of anything bar completed builds.
Who's building my house?
And that's how I felt. And so then I went to team. And I think eventually on the website I went to team and there were one photo of each of them. That's it. Just a straight on front photo and a little blurb, which is great that they had that. But it wasn't enough. And I think and I literally, have been through this recently. When I'm looking for a builder, that was definitely something that I wanted to see. I want to see your team. I want to see
who's going to
your
walk
face.
into my house?
Who is the builder behind this brand? Like, there's the name of this builder. It's also not a name. So, you know how sometimes they're like, oh, it's Jim da-da-da building. Yeah. This wasn't. This is a generic, like, abstract name. Yeah. So I don't even know if they're male or female. I don't know anything. Like, it took me a little while to search around. So I think that that's something to think about. Like, we want to see as a potential client, we want to see who we might be dealing with. Humans make very quick assumptions, decisions,
on very little information sometimes.
On very little information. Exactly. And so you can be taking yourself out of the running with something that's real easy to rectify.
Yeah. I know that's something I often try to gauge from guys as to how aware are they of missed opportunity. It is very hard to measure. Like, how would you possibly be able to tell how many people come across you and your brand and don't reach out? How? You know what I mean? Other than, okay, you got plenty of traffic coming to your website, but you're not getting any inquiries. That might be one indication.
Yeah, that would be one, yeah.
Another one I would say to them is, because I'll ask them a question in terms of, to gauge things, I'll get them to rate certain things out of 10, and some of them find it very hard. And a simple way is, are there jobs getting built in the area that you want to build, jobs that you want to build, and you didn't even get a look in? That person never talked, never spoke to you, never inquired with you. The designer never reached out to you to talk to you about it. If that's happening, well, then there's your answer.
Yeah.
You're not being seen as the go-to. You're not even getting a look in.
Ascertaining why that is can be tricky, like where that comes from. But I think working out where in the funnel people are leaving is super important in any business. Like, if people are leaving after the first initial consultation, that's also something that needs
or if you're getting a bunch of conversations to contract and they're not something's
I think it's important. So, I mean, this is just looking at that from the earlier point of view. So a lot of builders are focused on it here and aren't really seeing all the missed opportunity that's before that when it comes to social media and things like that.
I think there's a lot that can be done, and there's missed opportunity that, like what I said earlier, in terms of getting to contract and not going ahead. I think the guys that see less of that are doing a phenomenal job educating and creating a healthier perspective from a client and expectations. Yeah. And that can be done through marketing. Yeah. And during the sales process. What did you want to add?
Just that I think it's their belief in their product. I think that sometimes it can come down to it shows up through every single interaction that you have. And if you truly believe in your product, you can be able to sell it to anyone. And I think sometimes, it's that salesiness that can be that blocker, that they don't want to seem pushy. But yeah, that's what, yeah.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because I've had that like direct feedback from one of our builders where we were running all of his marketing, and then his pipeline filled up, and he's like, oh, cool, we can just put on pause indefinitely until I need to turn it back on. One, marketing doesn't quite work like that. And he realized that. Took him a few months, and then he came back. And one of the bits of feedback in terms of why he came back was, he said, no longer did I have the confidence walking into rooms, because no longer was I hearing, oh yeah, we've been seeing you everywhere, or we saw that, or we watched.
Yeah, they're primed.
And so, and when all of a sudden he realized people aren't as primed as they were, he started losing confidence, and he started seeing the ramifications of that lack of confidence, and they can smell that.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it's like, why wouldn't you want people that have already seen you? Like, I don't know what the statistic is around how many times we need to see something before we buy. And that's just things like headphones and things that are costing us, you know, under $300, $500. When it comes to someone building your house, like, the more you can get in front of that person, the more they're going to trust the experience, and that when they come to you for that initial meeting, they already know the 3 houses you did before. They already know your story. They already know. So they're coming like ready to rock and roll, versus let's come and ask all the questions now, and, oh, actually, you're not the right builder for me. I thought that you did this. It's like, let's do that. Let's let social media do that work for us. So that by the time they get to you, or let, you know, what we do at Bizvideo, let's the stories and everything, let that do the work. And then when they're with you, it's ready to put things into place, ready to action.
Yeah. I mean, you've alluded to it pretty strongly, but just to add to that, by doing it that way means that when that client eventually is sitting in front of you and you start talking with them, you don't have to do any selling.
They're primed for the yes.
You can just, and this is something I find from a lot of the guys we work with who are very humble and don't feel comfortable selling themselves. And so before working with us, there wasn't any selling happening. And so the only jobs they were able to convert were like super hot referrals, you know, because when that client interacted with them, they are then just asking good questions and showing genuine interest, which is fantastic. But unless that client had an earful from their friend who had worked with them, how are they supposed to know how good it is on the other side of that door if you have not told them that?
Yeah.
And there's often not enough opportunity to tell them all that and enough when you're interacting with them, talking about their project, because you need information to be able to understand their project and ask questions. And so, yeah.
And that links back to your comment on, but I don't have enough time, I don't have enough time. This is buying you time. Your social media is buying you so much time. It's just on the other side. So you're here doing all this work that's going out to, even if it's just 100 people, imagine getting to sit down in front of 100 people and share your business.
Yeah, I think that part there, because people go, oh, my, you know, a large part of my audience, I don't think they hang out on social media. It's like, okay. Do you think that someone who's going to invest $1 million with you, $500,000,
Definitely.
you think they're not going to go check you out on social media, doing their due diligence?
Every single generation is going to check you out on social media.
How is a client of ours recently who you sat down with? Oh man, that was such gold. You sat down with 3 of their existing clients,
which were all in the age bracket of 60 plus.
60 plus.
Yeah.
And some of the strongest feedback that they gave you was they felt, now having currently experiencing this builder's work and interaction and the journey so far, the comment to us, because we've now begun taking over new areas of his marketing, so now we can change things. And so that's why we're having this conversation with them. And they said that what we are experiencing was not at all being communicated on the social media.
Yeah. The social media, if they had only seen the social media, they wouldn't have chosen him. And it was only, most of them were through referral or one had worked with him in the past. So
that's right.
But they said that, you know, they're now sharing his name, but those people are going to go to his social media and they don't think that the social media is up to par and it's not aligning with their review. in a way. So
And
it's,
so then
it's
that's
that
inconsistency.
extra, it's inconsistent.
And inconsistency,
Exactly.
we established earlier, you lose traction in the trust area. Yeah,
Massively. So it's like, thinking that your audience isn't on social media, I think is a cop-out. I think it's just an excuse that they don't want to do social media. I don't think that people truly believe in 2025 that their audience isn't on social media, because
But that comment there on social media, I think some people can convince themselves that my 50 plus, 60 plus demographic, they're not sitting there scrolling away. I definitely know a lot of 60 plus year olds who do scroll away.
Same. But when you want to buy something, what's the first thing that you do? You go and you get the information from everywhere. You research, and it doesn't matter what age you are, whether you're 14 years old or whether you're 100 years old. If you're researching something, you're going to research it. You're going to get on social media, even if that's not your jam, and you're going to look at it and make sure that it's...
You're going to invest $1 million based purely on what that person in front of you just said to you.
Yeah. You're going to check it out. So I think that having that consistency on social media is important. I think that making sure that it aligns with your brand is super important. And I think that it's going to save you time when you sit down. You could then sit down with 4 different people that want to build a house and you close none of them, or you close one of them, versus you doing the work over here. They're already primed. They know who you are. So by the time they sit in the seat, when you've got these 4, you know these 4 are quality and already want to work with you, versus these 4 don't really know who you are. They come in just to suss you out. You've now spent 4 hours of your time minimum when you could have spent 1 hour with just one person that really truly knew you. So I think that investing time over here is worth it to save you time over here. It's a false economy otherwise. It's
otherwise you've given out more time than you have.
Exactly.
We've alluded to it several times during this conversation, and I want to dive into it. Your current experience, underway at the moment. You're on the journey.
Yes.
Unpack so far the journey, and then I want to understand some of the things where you feel like people listening to this can take away what you felt was done well, and where there are areas that improvement, and there's opportunity for improvement.
Yeah.
From a client perspective.
Yeah. So previously my husband and I have done very small renovations. So this is the first time we've purchased a house where we're going to be doing a more extensive renovation, multiple rooms, multiple walls out, multiple layout changes. So having worked here, I know that the first thing that builders say is that to get the builder on board and the designer at the same time, not to take one versus the other. So we really tried to do a lot of research, asking a lot of people. First port of call was getting references. So that was how we found a lot of the builders, asking a range of different people that work within that industry in all different ways, and then also friends and friends of friends, because we've moved a location. We no longer live on the coast, so we didn't have the beauty of just having people that are close to us that have already used them. So did get in touch with these builders, and it's very interesting. It's all very different. You know, sometimes you're calling straight through to the builder and owner themselves, and they're on site on the phone to you. Other times you might be calling through to maybe a wife or an admin person. So it's very different experiences. I wouldn't say one's better than another. I think that people have to be really cognizant of how they come across on the phone right from the start, because you never know who it might be.
Amen to that, Renae.
We didn't have any bad experiences, but I do think that that's something that if it is going through to you on a work site, I think that's something to think about, whether or not you want to pick up every call, whether you want to let some go to message bank and actually call people back when you have a chance to actually talk to them properly.
And there's not bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, exactly. I found that, I thought it was really good. You know, we had an initial meeting with all of them, a site. They all came to our house. And I'm definitely a person that goes a lot off the vibe of people and believe that, you know, you get a really good feeling of people straight off the bat. Yep. And funnily enough, my husband and I, when we talked afterwards, and we're very different. However, it was interesting that when we sort of set our first impressions of each of the builders, they were dead on. We were the same across the board of whether we thought they came across as competent, whether they came across as like someone that was going to listen to us, and this was off under, half an hour to 45-minute meeting for each of them. So it just goes to show how quickly people make those decisions and assumptions.
And how strong of that influences the decision.
Exactly. And feelings. I mean, you've got, I was talking to my husband around the halo effect, which is like if you meet someone and they're well put together, like make a good impression that first time, I'm much more likely to think that you're very capable, smart. I'm going to attribute all these other good things to you that you haven't actually shown me. Yeah. So I think
there's been a lot of psychological studies that shows that.
Yeah. So I think that sometimes, the way builders showed up to our house was very different. The way they interacted with us was very different.
Talk me through some of those experiences so guys can learn. So what are some areas you feel like, we'll come back to, let's start with the good things. What do you feel like some of these people did well?
Yeah. I guess from the get-go,
you can be harsh because we're not saying where this is and we're not saying who they are. So
sometimes it's very little things, like did they offer to take their shoes off before they came in our house? That, I know that sounds like such a tiny thing, but when you're going to be giving your house over to someone and we're going to be moving out while they're there, even that like slight, that slight consideration is something that really spoke to us, like whether he shook my hand and shook Sam's hand or whether he just shook Sam's hand. Yeah. These are so minute, but when you're going off only a 30-minute meeting with someone,
because you're taking that 30-minute meeting and it's setting up what you believe to be the trajectory of the rest of this journey.
Exactly. Yeah, and those little things speak to who we think they are as people because we don't know them that well. Yeah. So there was that and that. Some came with like a clipboard, tape measure, hey, do you have a ladder? Can I jump up in the roof quickly? Those kinds of things where it was like, oh, I'm not just here to just be like, yep, we could do that. Yeah, well, if you got enough money, we can get it done. But oh no, one of the builders even said, like, are you okay to step up into the shower? Do you want that taken away? Because if you want to take that away, that's like just showing that he knew what he was talking about. He knew, very small changes, just asking different things to see, are you good with this? Is this kind of the way you want to go?
And you felt that also showed that he then knows, let's say, this market, this niche, this
exactly.
Clients like you.
Yeah. And maybe he didn't, but but
he presented
I'm just saying
like
this is how it presented. And that's the thing. And him coming with a clipboard, writing down some things and like asking us a few questions made us feel like he was actually invested in this job. Like, yes, he can't action this job for quite a while. He did tell us that, like, he wouldn't be able to even start until mid next year. So, but even that in itself, like, this isn't a job he's going to be starting next month or even early next year, but he came across as, if you choose me, I'm going to put my all into this and I'm coming like you're choosing me versus let's just have a little chat and I'll just tell you what you want to hear. Yeah. And then, if you get in contact with me, you get in contact with me. It was that, it's just that feeling that someone's invested in you.
And I can imagine it'd be hard from a builder's perspective because I've spoken to many of them where they get to a point where because they've been price shopped so much, they then walk around conscious or subconscious with, look, unless they're willing, this client's willing to put some skin in the game, I don't really want to drive out there. And so you think, well, I'll bring a clean shirt and that's enough. And it's like, man, you are giving off such a strong vibe that you don't want this. Yeah. And so then is it the chicken or the egg? You give them the vibe and so people then play, they ghost you because they don't really get a good vibe from you and then you start hating the market and then...
Yeah, it's going to be a vicious circle. And I think that's something, I think that's a really dangerous mindset to get into from the business owner's perspective. I think no matter what's happened, you've got to show up with a clean slate. That's just the way it goes. For every client, and let them, one particular builder came in and he just had a really like strange vibe at the start, and then once he was in and we started to talk about it, he like loosened up and he was great. And my husband and I both chatted about that. We're like, was he very strange and very cold when he first came in? And I was like, yeah, he really was. But it's like he noticed it, I noticed it, and it took him a while to warm up, but you know, that's still in our minds now. We still haven't chosen a builder. So it just goes to show, like, maybe he had a really bad conversation in the car on the way to our house or whatever the case may be. You don't know, but little things like that can really stick in people's minds. So.
One thing that I found particularly interesting was a few weeks ago we spoke, and it was at a point where all of the builders that you'd spoken to had gotten the relationship with you and Sam to a stage that, and then you felt like all of them just stepped back, and you were left going, okay, and so what? Yeah. What now? And then you said to me, if one of them would just call and say, hi Renae, how are you going? Do you have any questions? Yeah. And would you like to get started? You said they would have jumped to the front of the queue.
Probably, yes. I think, what we found is that a lot of them are like, okay, yep, be happy to do the job. This is a job that we definitely do. We'd be able to start around this time. Yes, your budget is sufficient for what you want to do, so cool. Get the plans drawn up and then come and see us. That's pretty much what we were told. Okay. And so it was very reverse of what a lot of the builders have told us here, which is like, no, keep, like, I want to be on board for the plans. I don't know whether that's because, you know, it's not a full house build and whether this is just, you know, a renovation, but it was very much like, cool. Here are some names of draftsmen that we use. Get in contact with one of them. Once you've got the plans, come to us, we'll quote you up.
I feel like there's so much lost opportunity.
Massively.
And I think of the builders who we work with who were like this in the past, and they've gone and started to change a few little things in their process, and it has given them way more control. Because like, had one of these builders reached out and said, yes, you'd like to get started, like, you know, like, you know, do you have any questions? Would you like to get started? Yep, awesome. Okay, have you chosen a designer? Otherwise, I've got one in mind. Yeah. Can I set up a time? Can I connect you to? And just help lead you. Yeah. And this is the next step. Would you like me to help you make that next step?
Yeah. We did have two of them sent emails afterwards and had names of these people to get in contact with, which was really good. And the draftsman that we've gotten in contact with, I really like. So I was very happy with that recommendation. But I think that's a really good takeaway. I think the takeaway is that little bit of hand-holding that people really appreciate, because yes, you build houses every day, but most likely this person, maybe their second house they build, or maybe most probably their first, a lot of the time. So I think that, that hand-holding is really so valuable. And I think the gratitude that people have for that with anything that you're passionate about and that you do every day, it's like, okay, cool, like, lead me through, like, help me know the next step. Because you do feel a little bit like, I'm a little bit lost. Like, am I supposed to, you know, I'm calling people being like, do you want to should I have you at the meeting with the draft? Like, I'm like asking these questions and you feel a bit silly, but it is, and like with a builder, they can literally lead you and therefore the ball stays in their court. Yeah. Like, it's a win-win. It's a win for the client and it's a win for you.
I think, and a lot of guys, they'll say, oh, this client just ghosted me. It felt really good, and then they ghosted me. And it's like, yeah, man, they're, like you mentioned there, they are feeling silly because they don't know what the next step is. And so they have this trepidation of, I don't want to take the next step and look silly, or I don't want to take the next step and it's the wrong step.
And do something wrong.
And do something wrong, and then I've just caused a whole bunch of problems. And so they just get stuck sitting here. Yeah. And they just need you. And I think just something super practical for the guys and girls listening to this is just call them.
Yeah.
Just call that prospect.
And calling from a
mindset or perspective
of giving. Okay, I'm trying to think of the word, but being of service is what I was going to say. So call with the mindset of being of service. So versus you saying, oh, I'm not going to call this person and be like, hey, you chosen a builder yet? Like, well, are you coming with us? No, hey, where are you up to in your journey? Is there anything that you need to know? Is there any questions I can answer? Like, come from a place of service. No one is going to be angry at that. Everyone's going to be so grateful for that. And even if a builder said to me, where are you up to at the moment? And I was like, oh, okay, so we've got our draftsman. She's coming on Friday. They'd be like, great. Well, if you end up, needing help with the plans or you need a builder to come, like I do that. Yes, I charge by the hour, but if you need me there, like I'm happy to do it to make sure you stay on budget. Yep. Like, no one's going to be upset at that. And also then, we'd love to quote the job at the end. If you'd like us to, we're really keen to help you out with this one. Yeah. Great. Like, so yeah, that would be some practical advice. Would definitely be call with the mindset of service and answering their questions and helping them with the next step.
Again, going down to more nitty gritty, because they might get a phone response of, oh, yeah, we're still looking or we're still thinking. It's like, so preempt and expect that response. And don't go, oh, okay, all good. Oh, we'll just reach out when you're ready. Mm-hmm. No, man, they just gave you a knee jerk. What do you say when you walk into...
no, I don't need any help.
What's like Clive Peters or like Harvey Norman, or what do you say? I'm all good, just looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then 10 minutes later, you're like, man, I'd really like some help. I have some questions about this appliance. Where can I get some help from?
Yeah.
And so I would just add to that is when someone gives you the response, expect they're going to say, oh, we're still looking. Say, great, excellent.
Yeah.
Do that. I just find that many of our clients at this stage have questions like this, and this. If any of those come up, give these people the questions.
Have a question ready.
Yes, because it's most likely in their head and you've probably just caught them off guard and then they knee jerk answer. Oh, we were still looking. And so just go, it's very normal. Normalize the process and show them, again, present yourself professionally and go, I deal with people like you all the time and I know how to hold your hand.
Exactly. And from a prospective client's point of view, that just speaks volumes because I'm like, great. So I now know when I'm trying to choose between this sink and this sink, I can now come to you and be like, hey, because you've shown me already that you actually care and you've shown me that you're willing to help me through and you're willing to show me the next steps. And you're going to be like, well, this isn't going to work because of whatever spacing you have. Like I'm going to see you want to position yourself as the expert. What better way to position yourself as the expert than to come and go, hey, here are the questions you might have and here's the next steps. Yeah. You're already positioned yourself as the expert right there and then. So you're missing that opportunity if you're not calling them and in their time of need.
Yeah.
So it's actually the perfect time to call them.
And to a degree, that which you're trying to communicate and present yourself on that phone call, a lot of that can be presented and communicated in your marketing ahead of time.
100%, yeah, for sure. And that's why, and they're going to be way more likely to call you if they've already seen it on your social media. So that there's less likely of the ghosting to happen.
Yes.
So it's fixing that problem as well.
One thing as well on this journey so far with your build that really stood out to me, I had this conversation a few weeks ago, was at the very early stages, you had, there were two builders that we were discussing. One came and said, yep, I can come and meet you and walk through the house. And you were really impressed that he came and showed interest and you felt like, you have to see the place to understand what is it that we're doing. And that's something that a lot of builders I talk to kind of laugh at because it's like, I know what's up with that building based on floor plans. And it's like, no one's questioning your competency.
Yes.
But from a client's perspective, do they feel like you've given them, do they feel like you want this or that you're listening or that you're showing interest? And the other builder, maybe you can talk us through what the other builder did and why that stood out.
Yeah. So the other builder also was like, yep, I'm coming for a site visit. Before I do, I've got this questionnaire to fill out, and it just gives us a bit of background about like who you are. And he actually works with a specific designer. So it's a combined document. You don't have to use that designer, but it is a combined document. And so I looked through it, and I filled it out, because it wasn't positioned in a way where I had to fill it out before he came, but it was kind of sort of like mentioned in that kind of way. I didn't feel pressure to fill it out anyway. I did fill it out. It did take me a while, the way that I filled it out, answering questions around how our family functions, like what sports do children play, how many children do you have have pets, all those kinds of questions that like a builder would sort of get to know maybe in the first conversation, or maybe once you've put a deposit down, like once you've said you're going with them. But what I found really interesting is I filled out this documentation. It did take me quite a while. It probably took me over an hour to fill out. It was all just on the computer typed. And I found that even though I hadn't met him yet, I was more invested in him because of it. Because I felt as though I had already invested my time and therefore...
And you had expressed yourself a lot deeper.
Yeah. So I felt like he knew me. And actually it's funny, because when he did come to the house, I thought it was very clever. He was like, I'd say blah, blah, blah. I'd say, oh, my son does this. And he goes, oh, yep, Austin. Yep. So he's around about 11. So he knew things about us, and he made sure he put it into the conversation. So he said things. He's like, oh, so down here, this is where you'd have like girls' nights, movie nights, things like that. That's going to be down here. It's like, it was very obvious he'd read through it. He'd made sure that he'd taken some of it on board, so that he could come across as someone who was invested in the job. And just, I thought that was really great, very clever from a marketing perspective and a psychological perspective. I thought it was, because instantly I felt more connected to him, because he already knew so much about us, and I hadn't told him anything about other than what was in that document. So, I thought that was a good thing that he used to make us feel more invested emotionally into choosing him.
I think that's brilliant. And it had that impact, but you did the work.
I did the work. Yeah. One document that he can use for every single client that he ever has. So it's effort that you've put in one time. Easy as clicking a button on an email. Hey, do you mind filling this out before I come to the site visit next week? Yep. Most people are going to do it. We're already invested. Like, it's our money that we're about to be putting in, and it's our home that we love. So we're already invested in this process. So getting someone to do something small like that, a buy-in that's small, is very simple. We're already excited. Same about like showing them around the house. I'd love to show you around the house. Like, this is what I want to do here. This is what I want to do there. We're already keen and invested. So the buy-in from our side is so easy, and it's going to pay off massively on the other side for the builder. Because, I'm going to feel like I've already invested in this builder, and I don't want to lose out on my investment. So I'm way more likely to choose them in the long run. I thought it was really good. I would, when you shared that with me, I was like, there's a lot of gold there. Yeah, I feel like even for people like designers and draftsmen and that, I was like, get them to fill this out. I spoke to another draftsman and I told her about it, and she was like, oh yeah, cool, that's all the stuff we go through in the first meeting. Once I put a deposit down and she's come for that first meeting, that's what we go through there. And I'm like, that's great, but you could have had it 3 weeks ago here, and I would have been way more likely invested to choose you. Yeah. And you'd have the information up front, so it's less, you have to, like, when you're actually here talking to me, you already know all this. And it's meant that I'm more likely to choose you before I put the deposit down. So, and it's one document.
From her perspective, she can get a better indication as to whether or not she even wants to work with you.
It's a job that she wants.
Rather than taking a deposit and going, oh, no, actually, I don't really want to work with this person.
Yeah. So I just thought it was such a small outlay for such a massive return. So I thought it was a really good idea.
Renae, you've answered all the questions I had planned and more. So thank you very, very much.
No worries.
For someone who was nervous to jump this side of the lens and the mic, you've done a phenomenal job.
Thanks, JP.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you on the next one.
See you on the next one.